Again, inshallah, in these few moments before entering the prayer, I wanted to mention a few matters of importance that concern us as Musallin, and those who are attending the congregational prayer. First of all, the Prophet ﷺ, he tells us in the hadith, which is reported on the authority of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, collected by Bayhaqi and others, he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, "La darara wa la dirar." There is no harm which is to be done intentionally or inadvertently. And what's intended by inadvertent harm is that a person harms others while they're not intending to do so. So if you're to come to the masjid, for example, and you leave your shoes by the entry, someone can trip and harm themselves. And it's important that when we're coming to the likes of this congregation or a larger number, bifadlillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we are not only thinking about ourselves, but we're thinking about others. Al-mu'min lil-mu'min kal-bunyan yashuddu ba'duhu ba'da. A believer to another is like a fortifying brick. They support one another. So it's important that we are remembering this. And from the matters that fall into this, and it's very annoying at times, is that when we come to the congregational prayer, maybe some of us have eaten garlic, or we've eaten onions, or perhaps a person had a cigarette, which is even worse. And then we come to the congregational prayer while the smell is emanating from us. And ikhwani fillah, it's important that we understand that the Prophet ﷺ, he said in the hadith of Jabir, the hadith of Ibn Umar, a number of the Sahaba report from him that he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, "Man akala thawman aw basalan aw kurathan falyatazilna aw liyatazil masjidana." If a person was to eat garlic or onions or spring onions, then let him avoid us or let him avoid our masjid. And Umar radiallahu anhu reports, is found in Sahih Muslim, إِذَا وَجَدَ رِيحَهُمَا مِنَ الرَّجُلِ أَمَرَ بِهِ فَأُخْرِجَ إِلَى الْبَقِيعِ. That if the Prophet ﷺ was to sense the smell of garlic, onions, the likes of these things from a person in the masjid, he would order for him to be removed all the way to the region of Baqi'. And I'm sure we know where Baqi' is, which is now the graveyard, which is there by the Prophet ﷺ's masjid. So he would order for him to be removed that distance. And the reason being, the harm. It comes another authentic hadith that he said, إِنَ الْمَلَائِكَةَ تَتَأَذَّى مِمَّا يَتَأَذَّى مِنْهُ بَنُ آدَمَ. That the angels, they are harmed by the things that are harmed the children of Adam. So you can come to the congregational prayer intending good, and perhaps the smell is disturbing the musalli beside you. Maybe in the sujood they're losing khushu', or in the standing they're losing khushu', all because of the smell which is coming from you. So it's important as brothers that we love for one another that which we love for our own selves. Just like you love for yourself khushu', others they love for themselves khushu'. And you can see how much of an effort the Prophet made in ridding the houses of Allah from the likes of these smells, to the extent that he would order for a person to be removed from the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Perhaps if a person who had such a foul smell today and we were to tell him, brother, perhaps and he tried praying somewhere else, he would become offended. And you would find those who support him in this. I came across an interesting fatwa of Shaykh Uthaymeen rahimahullah, where he said, the questioner, that there are people who are ummal, they're workers, laborsmen, they come to the masjid and they have a very strong smell. And so a student of knowledge, he said that these people, while they're in this state, they shouldn't come to the masjid, they should be prevented. And they asked Shaykh Uthaymeen about this. He says, if they are like this, in the question, the summary, just to paraphrase, that they're ordered to purify, cleanse themselves, get rid of the smell to the best of their ability, and to join them in the jama'ah. Otherwise, they pray congregational prayer wherever they are. So it shows the importance, ikhwani fillah, of preparing ourselves for the meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is all from the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, Ya bani Adam, khudhu zinatakum inda kulli masjid. Children of Adam, take your adornments in every place of prayer. And this is not only physically, but also internally. If we have to remove any of these kind of smells from ourselves, that we do so. And like I said, ikhwani fillah, there also enters into this not only garlic and onions and these types of vegetables, but the modern day things, which are the cigarettes and whatnot. And it's an opportunity for you, those who are trialed with this. The purpose is not to put the spotlight on anyone, but if you're trialed with it, then bifadlillah azza wa jal, this is an opportunity for you to rid yourself of this trial. As you're fasting for many hours, all you need to do is be sincere, make dua to Allah azza wa jal, and ask Allah to grant you success. And perhaps this will be the Ramadan that you cleanse yourself of this musibah. Because it's a harm. Your body is an amana, a trust. Your body is a trust. We're not permitted to do with our bodies whatever we want. We're only permitted to do with our bodies what is within the guidance of the Quran and the Sunnah. To the extent that some of the ulama mentioned that even giving, donating your kidney, they say some of the ulama, major scholars, like Al-Albani, Uthaymeen and others, they say that Allah Azza wa Jal gave you 2 kidneys for a purpose. So it's not permitted for you to give it away. And Shaykh Albani, he speaks about his own situation, which is he had a kidney failure and he was surviving off of 1 kidney. So he said, imagine if he was to give one of those kidneys away and later on in life, he needs a kidney. SubhanAllah, Allah did not place him there except for this purpose. So the purpose I'm mentioning this is if to this extent that your body is an aman, and the ulama are saying that even donating a kidney, that some of them are saying is not permissible. That's not the point whether it's permissible or not. But the point is to show that your body is an amana. What about damaging your body with the cigarettes, with those who are troubled with other things like the narcotics and the marijuana and so on? Ikhwani fillah, it's important that we take advantage of this opportunity to rid ourselves of the harm of the shayateen. And what's also important is that we do not harm the neighbors. As coming to the masjid, people may be in a rush to the jama'ah, they park their car in a place where we're blocking the neighbors, we're blocking the gate, and this is not only a bad image that we are presenting to them, but it's also harmful. It's also harmful. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, Wallahi la yu'min. 3 times he repeated this. Wallahi, he does not believe. Man la ya'man jaruhu bawa'iqah. The one who his neighbor is not safe from his harm. So the neighbor, he has rights. Whether he's a Muslim or a non-Muslim, they have rights. From these rights is that we do not disturb them in terms of their entry and exiting to their house. They should have peace to enter and exit their houses without us harming them. So we advise those who are coming to park their vehicles to place your vehicle in a place of safety. There are streets, some of them that, for example, the street that runs in the back there, Roxith, there are places where you're able to park your vehicle without any problems, inshallah ta'ala. And remember that, be cautious, because if the complaints increase, then it may lead to even someone who wants to come and park their car for the salah quickly and come back to their vehicle, that they're ticketed because of someone else's harm. So these are just points that we wanted to mention pertaining to harm which is to ourselves as Muslims and to harm towards others. This month should be a month where we are restraining our harm. And the Prophet ﷺ, I'll conclude with this, he told Abu Dharr, radiallahu anhu, the noble Sahabi, أن تكف شرك عن الناس صدقة منك على نفسك. For you to prevent your harm from others is a sadaqah that you're giving to your own self. So if you're not able to give any sadaqah, no problem. Just prevent your harm from others and you're giving yourself sadaqah. And look at the ease and the beauty of Islam. So inshallah we'll stop with this. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to benefit by what was mentioned. Alhamdulillah.